in your hand these 3 days is available online, either as a download and print or a purchase. Okay, that's a downloaded print. Okay, that's free. All right. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Now you need a dialogue booklet. Yes. There you go. Like write a story. There you go. Okay. All right. So first of all, any thoughts, comments, or sarcastic remarks about anything said yesterday?
I went home and I told my husband I liked your presentation style.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I definitely.
Well, tell him to come on in and sit sometime. Come on and have fun.
sorry.
It really set the bar, right?
Come on.
That's it.
You like that?
I didn't say anything about the content. I didn't say anything about the content.
Yes.
I'm smart.
I'm set.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
She's not.
No problem. So we got to this point. Now, what I gave you is a dialogue booklet. And who can tell me the exercise that I said you should go through yesterday to internalize doors?
To have your packet in front of you, your doors packet in front of you with your yellow pad and write down what you're gonna say and then toss it out.
Perfect. Perfect.
She's a perfect student.
Well,
Like the spot.
Rookie of the Year, not
Yeah, there
bad.
you
All right, okay. Now, the extra step to that I just put in your hands, which is the dialogue booklet. And I got to tell you, that dialogue booklet is wordy. There's no way you could cover all of these points and keep a doors presentation under 45 minutes. It's just impossible. So you have more than you'll use, and you'll distill that down when you do that process I was talking about. All right? Okay.
Is that the like target time? for
Yes.
Under
If you're
45
doing
minutes?
over an hour sitting there at that booklet, you're probably
lost
not,
them.
you've lost them. You're probably not getting listened. They need comfort and visitors in their home. That's the only reason you're there, you know, is to have conversation with them. So yeah, 45 minutes to an hour, you're done. Now, pricing. Since we have an evening in between, remember the flow? We told them what we were going to tell them. We had those balls, and we said we were going to get to pricing. Okay. Now, what did not come up yesterday is what if when you sit down at the table, all they want to hear is they go, "I don't want to see that crap. I just want to know how much you think it's worth." Have you had that pushed at you before? Now, I want you to think about this. That's going to happen with much less frequency when you do this theater up front. You'd already figured that out. That theater of the two-step where you go, remember, 2.5 to 3 hours, go back and do them, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's why we're doing that. It's these little subtle things so you can sit there at the table. So what I'm saying is, if that's been happening to you, it's probably going to stop with this process. You know, the pressure. Hello, come on in. With that pressure. Limbo man. Did y'all see that video of Dick Van Dyke online? Did anybody see that?
No.
Holy cow, Google it. There's this, there's like this Roots band that they've used him on their video. You got to see this. Y'all remember Dick Van? Like Roots music? No, they're just playing. They're doing a video for a music video. But they're using Dick Van Dyke. He is amazing. He's like 89 years old.
Oh, he's still.
And they've got him dancing, and he looks just as spry. He's looking like, Mary Poppins,
amazing.
hopping around. Yeah, it was great. So anyway, I just thought I'd change the subject since that was on my mind. Saw that this morning. Now, so we kind of got off flow, but so they're going to probably be in a different mindset when you sit down and bring the pricing issue up because of this process that's gone on before. Okay? It's going to be a better situation sitting there with pricing. Now, let me ask you guys and get a feel, because this varies by office culture and by market. What is an acceptable range? When y'all do a CMA, y'all do CMAs, right?
Yep.
It's in the MLS, right?
Yep.
You put in certain criteria and it kicks it out, correct? And it looks the same, and everybody in town uses the same thing, correct? Is that right? So,
Sounds like
no, okay, all right. I'm trying to find out here. All right, so The MLS has a CMA, and do few people use, come on around front here, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's good, come on.
This is Barb.
Hi Barb, I'm Kirk, how are you?
I'm fine.
So there's a CMA that gets kicked out of the MLS. Okay. Have y'all seen the PTA yet? No. Okay. We're not going to be using a CMA anymore. Matter of fact, we're going to throw that term away. CMA, everybody do it. Say CMA.
CMA.
Throw it away. PTA. Price Trend Analysis. And I'm going to show you what it's about after a while, but and then there's a class you're going to take. But this is in the category of the Yogi Berra. It's the itty bitty teeny tiny things that'll get you or help you. And it's just one, remember the yellow pad and the difference between that and the getting to know you document we're going to walk around with? That's where the PTA is. We're going to take an extra step and move the CMA data over to this price trend analysis form that you're not going to learn how to do that in here, but you're going to learn how to do it online. So it's on Weicker University. And folks, I'm telling you, I usually suggest that the first class you take on Weicker University is the price trend analysis class, because you need no support or help to understand and complete it. If you understand CMAs, if you've been making a CMA. So, matter of fact, go ahead and just, pinpoint that. The PTA should be the first class that you take, all right? So here in this market, and I rely upon Bobby and Audrey big time for this section, because it's their desires that should be guiding your pricing strategy, because this should be a company effort. And it's subtle, but I'm going to ask some questions that I haven't asked you guys yet. But what is the acceptable range in pricing a listing around the range that's determined by the CMA? In other words, how much fudge room do we have? How much overpriced? Do we take overpriced listings at all?
Do we take over price listings? It's a personal.
No, never. Say about 10,000.
Yeah.
We're
There's
perfect.
no, listen, guys, no, guys, listen, there's no, it's just, where are you? If,
I'll
like
tell somebody
most
straight up that I'll
companies,
pass if I
Okay.
don't think I can sell it at that price.
okay, good,
That's
but
personal.
like most companies, it's an individual agent kind of
Right.
decision.
Right.
What you're doing with accepting the listing based on the range of the CMA. Is that what happens here?
I think we shoot for 10, and sometimes on more expensive properties, we
Right.
might go as high as
It depends.
15.
Okay,
Depends on price
Beautiful.
In the
point.
range of the person.
beautiful.
It also
Music to
depends
my
on,
ears.
it also depends on whether you're getting showings at that price point. You know, you get them set up so
Yes.
to be able to adjust to a price.
Okay, y'all are
Right up ahead.
singing right.
Yeah.
You're singing right.
I've had that conversation with a seller before.
Yeah, before-
So
yeah,
if
before you
if they're
even have the
adamant that they want a certain price point, and I'll tell them, we're not gonna get a buyer for that price
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
But they're adamant that they wanna sell it for that price. So what the conversation I had beforehand is, I'll list it for that price, but when we don't get any showings in the next 2 weeks, I need you to be on
Yeah.
board to readjust that price.
Yeah, yeah. Right. The strategy been used for years, and I'm gonna. I might give y'all some additional stuff to think about here. Let me go general, and you'll see how this will come back to the listing table and be very specific for you. How many of you in here prefer to negotiate the price of a home you purchase yourself? You prefer to negotiate the price, okay? Raise your hand up if you prefer to negotiate the price.
I guess, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Who does not prefer to negotiate the price? Look at that, two brokers. Two brokers and me. Now,
Two wimps.
well, now watch
But
this.
if you're
Let me-
purchasing it yourself, see, that's the thing, if you're a
Yeah.
buyer, you're talking about if you're a buyer. Right.
Y'all answer. I was asking you,
Right.
you personally,
Yeah.
okay?
I'm purchasing my own
Let me,
property, I wanna get
yeah, if
a
you're
deal.
purchasing the property.
I wanna get a deal no matter what, even if I go to a car dealership and they're saying, like Price Honda,
Right.
we've already given you the discount.
Right.
It's my personal challenge to get
Right.
it lower.
Well, let me say this. My experience shows me that the majority of the buying American public would prefer to have a process of buying their home where there was no negotiation on
I agree
price.
with that.
Really?
Now, let me give you the proof.
I agree with that.
I'm gonna start with Saturn Automobiles. They're out of business, but what did they do?
One price.
Completely changed the automobile sales industry. I have a friend who owns a major car lot and dealership in Louisville, and he says every month the percentage of cars in America that are sold under the no negotiation sticker is going up, and they expect it to be 100%. The objection, well, what about used cars? Well, Best Buy's cracked that, haven't they? Y'all with me? And car purchases are the second largest purchase most Americans make if they're not in the stock market, correct? Okay. Now, what is our job? To bring an end to negotiation or to extend negotiation? Okay. Anybody ever? What's your grocery stores up here?
Food line.
Food Line, okay. Yeah, Food Line. All right, so do you walk through Food Line with your grocery cart, your grocery cart, and fill it up, and then go up there, and if you do use a person to check you out, and they go through and check it out, and they go, okay, that'll be $98. You go like, well, I'll give you like 75.
That would be nice.
Do you do that?
When Priceline
be nice.
first came out, they did do negotiations. But
What,
of course,
Priceline?
that did, yeah, Priceline before it became,
Oh, no, they do it now. I did it yesterday for this hotel, so.
no, I meant on groceries.
Oh, groceries,
They
okay,
do it on
right,
groceries.
okay. All right, so
So it
listen,
didn't work.
do you know, well,
I used to.
have you ever been who's been to Mexico? You ever gone to the grocery store in Mexico? That's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Even everything.
No matter
Why?
what it is.
Because it's
It's
tradition.
expected.
It's tradition. That's
Culture.
all it is. It's culture. Why is it we all feel like, why is it everybody in America feels like they have to negotiate the price of a home or they're a fool? It's culture. We've taught our buying public that if they pay full price for a house, they're an idiot. Do y'all agree? All right.
Unless it's
You-
a trending market.
I'm sorry?
Unless the market is trending upward or,
They always feel that way. Every time, let me tell you what, every buyer that has gotten in the car with you, now watch this, unless you have, before
educated them. Right.
before you've shown them the first house, looked them in the eye and said, I just want to let you know that when we find the house that you fall in love with, it's okay to pay full price. Has anyone ever said that to a buyer?
I've said
Like
even
saying
more.
how
Raise your
bad people
hand.
want it.
So- hang on, time out.
You kidding me?
I'm being shy.
All right, let me take that. Listen, what'd you say?
If they say they want to make an offer, they say, what do you think? And
I'm not at that point yet. I'm not at that point. Okay, now watch this. It's subtle. What we're trying to do is get them into our car
Oh,
to go look at the first house. Okay, you with me?
yes,
Okay. That's what I'm talking about with working with buyers.
okay.
If you don't do that, we have all been putting buyers in our cars for years, and they have had in their head what thought? I'm an idiot to do what? Pay full price. We, through our pre-qualification and pre-discussions with our buyers, set up lowball offers. We are also responsible for those buyers who made lowball offers, didn't get the house, and it crushed them and they got out of the market. Anybody had that experience? I have. Okay? Are y'all following what I'm saying? Why is it that we, yes,
We hear, I can speak for Audrey and the rest of us, we educate our buyers.
Mhm.
So a lot of times, we're guiding them, or at least we're telling them about the market conditions and preparing them that, like in this case right now, we're starting to get a trend up.
right,
And we're getting multiple offers. So we
Yes.
prepare our buyers
sure,
beforehand that if, we find a house that looks like it's at market or
Yeah.
even possibly below,
Yeah.
that we need to be prepared to
yeah,
put the highest and best or even more, at
Right.
least I have.
right, good,
So, yeah.
good,
And the way we do it isn't by just saying it, because
Right.
that just sounds like words. They have copies of the hot sheet,
Right.
what happened in the last week,
Yeah.
highlighted with what the settlement prices were versus listing, and it's highlighted so that anything within a 2,000 range, we highlight, and they have that to do during their buyer's orientation.
Beautiful.
First meeting.
Perfect. Beautiful.
You
Beautiful.
did something right.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have more. Why do you think y'all, you do everything wrong? Why do you keep saying that? I don't know why you keep saying that. It's crazy. Now, so, and then we're even gonna add on to that process, because we're gonna look at that this morning, the buyer consultation, which is gonna be even adding to that process. What I'm suggesting is, just like with open houses yesterday, where everybody that goes through your open house, what should you look them in the eye and ask?
Would you like to buy
You want to buy this house, not do you want to make an offer, not how do you feel about it, not, is are your children doing okay, that kind of, do you want to buy this house, okay? Pricing, when you're, and we're talking about sellers now, but we jumped to buyers because that's the, what we're trying to set up for them. We'll do this more, we'll do the buyer consultation, but I'm talking about, I want you to look them in the eye, even with all that stuff that we're doing, after we show them the data, we're going to do the presentation before we're going to get in the car. In summary, just so you know, the reason I showed you this was when you find the home that you're in love with, it's okay to pay full price. Okay? I want those words to come out as that clear, to a buyer. If not, after today, you know that you're putting buyers in your car with the intent of making a lowball offer. And the reason they're in there with that intent is because you didn't do your job. All right? So that's the pressure that I want you to feel. So we get to this point, and we get to start talking about pricing. Okay? And so how do y'all do that, by the way? What's your dialogue with pricing? And let me go back to range. So that was beautiful. 10,000 range makes sense. Inside of around 100,000, is that what you're thinking, or higher than that?
Yeah, it depends on where you're at.
And you've got enough comps to where that can work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So you got an active enough market. All right. So this is where we present the price and get their agreement. And how do y'all walk away when it's overpriced? Do you walk away when it's overpriced? Mm-hmm. Okay.
They should.
Have you been called back? Anybody had a good experience lately in getting up from the table because your CMA said 150 to 165 and they wanted 200?
Yeah, I had an experience where she wanted to price it at 240 and the comps around were selling in the 180s.
Oh, yeah.
So I told her it was unrealistic.
Yeah.
And we had a really good conversation.
Yep.
She was shopping around with realtors and she told me that I was the only realtor to say, you're not gonna get it for that price. She said every other realtor said, I'll take it.
That's good news.
So she said, I'm gonna hold off and I'll call you in November.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've been keeping in touch with her though.
Good. Well, that's beautiful. People respect honesty and they respect confidence and I don't want to say any more words. They respect honesty. And if you're being honest, they'll get it. When I told people when I was listing and selling, I said, when I would say I would be lying to you if I took it at 250, that was the truth. Because that would be me saying, I can get that for it. And the market's telling me it just ain't the case. Okay? Now, we don't have time to hear, but there's a lot of other theater through the doors presentation and presenting the comps, as example, whenever you put the PTA on the table, put it closer to them and as far away from you as you can, and you're pointing at it and saying the market is telling us that the price should be between this and this. The market is indicating this way. So you keep saying the market, which is difficult for some agents that have been used to going, well, from my experience, see, that's the difference between the way we do the listing presentation and what other people do. It's a me thing. And so now you're caught in this tug of war with the seller, that it's my opinion against their desires, and that just takes you down a rabbit hole. Okay? Yes?
I think that we've really put a lot of focus in the last several years on blaming on the appraisers. And
On doing what the appraisers?
I'm blaming it on the appraisers.
Right.
I always come into it when I start talking about pricing is that this is, you know, I'm looking at it the way an appraiser's gonna look at it. I can find a buyer that's willing to pay $300,000 for your house, it
Sure.
doesn't mean they can get financing on it.
Sure, sure.
And really kind of focus on, this is the value based on how an appraiser's gonna look at it.
Well, how about we use the exact same data as the appraiser does? You know, tell
Exactly.
the seller that. I mean, it's, you know, if my CMA doesn't show the price you want to get, it's not going to get appraised. You know, so it doesn't make a difference anyway. So that's one of the, you know, objection handlers.
What does an
It's never our
appraiser-
fault.
I'm sorry?